Hello, I'm crime fiction writer Brenda Chapman, and today I'm really pleased to have with me my good friend, Ottawa thriller writer Rick Mofina. This is the 13th in the series of interviews introducing some of the great crime writers of Canada authors from Ottawa and Eastern Ontario. Hi, Rick.
Hi, how are you, Brenda?
Oh, good, good. It's great to speak with you today. Now, people might not know that in addition to us both working at Health Canada a few years ago, we also had offices right next to each other, and we spent quite a few times chatting about books.
Yeah, it was a literary club of two.
Yeah, or book chats. Now, you've written over 20 thrillers that
Yeah.
have been translated into over 30 languages around the world, and Library Journal calls you one of the best thriller writers in the business. So what is it about the thriller genre that attracts you?
Oh, well, I guess it was when I was on the crime desk in newspapers. There was the drama and the deadline and getting to the point of a story. And thrillers did that for me. Page turners, stuff that moved along pretty fast. So I thought, yeah, I think I like this genre.
And before, as you said, before you started writing crime fiction, you were a crime reporter, and your freelance work has appeared in many publications, including the New York Times, the Telegraph, Reader's Digest, and even Penthouse. It seems obvious that journalism would teach you some valuable skills that would carry over into crime fiction. But can you talk about how your reporter years fed into your crime writing career?
Well, with in reporting the real thing, you always were parachuted into the lives of people, usually at the worst times of their lives, the most dramatic times of their lives, especially as a crime reporter. And most crime reporters today and throughout history know this. It just comes with the turf, as it were. But you learn to pick up, absorb things like a sponge, use what you need, use what makes a story human, use what will compel a reader because you have to get to the point you have limited space. So I think it was good boot camp for writing thrillers for me personally.
Yeah, yeah. You've written four series and many standalones. Which do you prefer writing and why?
I like them both. I mean, with a series, you're with a group of characters that are like friends. You know the turf, you know them.
Mhm.
But with standalones, it's a whole fresh look as well at something new, and you don't have to worry about coming back to them and connecting things. So there's for me there's likes and challenges with both types, but I like them both.
Yeah. Have you ever written a standalone and thought this would make a good series, or have you never?
Yeah. The first book I ever I published was meant to be a standalone, and it was the publisher that wanted the characters to come back, calling them continuing characters was the term they used.
Yeah.
So I worked them into the next story, which was supposed to be a standalone, and then the third book in that series, it was to me the actual series book. But yeah, the first one, but all of them, I think with every writer, every book has the potential to grow into series. It's just a natural thing, really.
Yeah. Yeah. You grow to like the characters and the storyline and yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Missing Daughter won the 2020 Barry Award, and Deadly Pleasures Mystery Magazine named it Best Paperback of that year. This book plays on every parent's nightmare, having a child go missing. And I know that you're a dad.
Yeah.
Safe to say that the fears and real life situations of regular people drive your books?
Yes, easily. I think that's what makes it, to me, more heartfelt, and that you can connect with readers when you're just touching on real emotions and real fears. And again, coming back to newspapering, met people in similar situations, talked with police. So to me, I was sort of trying to make things as real as possible. And being a parent, and every parent has, someone's late, a little bit late, they're not on the corner where they're supposed to be when you're picking them up, that sort of thing. It always plays on into the fears of everybody. So I think that's just natural, and then you just sort of twist things up a bit and have fun with it.
Yeah, and it really hooks your reader if they feel invested, I think, in
I
your
think so.
character. Yeah. Now, your last release is Search for Her, another standalone thriller. Could you give us the 1-minute elevator pitch?
Oh, on that one, a blended family is traveling from California to Pennsylvania to start a new life in their RV. And at a truck stop just outside of Las Vegas, the teenage daughter is missing.
Okay.
Another missing, it's a whole subgenre, missing people.
Yeah, a lot of missing people.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds really good. So when we worked together at Health Canada, I really admired your work ethic. I know that you were up really early, like 5 a.m., and putting in almost a day of writing before you came to work. Now that you retired from the government, do you maintain a strict schedule, or has the pandemic changed your writing style at all?
Well, it's interesting you would ask that. I think I still write every day, work every day. I think I was more intense because the time was so limited. So when I was on the bus, when I was up early, working a little bit, and then on the bus when I was more awake on the way into work, it usually was a 45-minute ride. I could get notes done on the bus. And then after work, I would pick it up again on the bus ride back and go over those notes. And then before bed, I would go over those notes again. And then on the weekends, I'd turn those notes into chapters. And then traveling as well, conferences, airports, the same thing. I, like most writers, you find your own rhythm.
Mhm.
And so I thought I probably was working faster then. Now I'm still working at the steadier pace, but kind of laid back. You're not interacting with people. The time is your own, really. So it's still the same. I still produce a book in the same amount of time. I thought I would be faster, but I'm not, because I'm older.
Yeah, I'm about the same. So what are you working on now?
Just finished the book that will be released in January. The draft is done. Very few people have seen it, so we're in the early stages. It's a big book in terms of length, longer than a bit longer. I say a big book, a little bit longer than my previous books, but it's called Her Last Goodbye.
Ooh.
It's a domestic thriller.
Yeah.
And that's about all I'm going to say about it.
Can you tell where it's set? Is it set in?
It's set in the US. That's all I'll say.
Okay, sounds great. That's great.
Okay.
I'm going to end with by asking you a few snapper questions, as I've done with all the
Oh, sure. Yeah.
interviewees, just to find out a bit more about you. Where did you grow up, Rick?
Belleville, Ontario.
Okay, just down the road. And how old were you when you knew that you wanted to be a writer?
Kindergarten. What's that? 5, 6 years old.
Yeah, yeah, you
Yeah.
knew back then?
Yeah.
Wow. Were you an early reader?
No, I was a bad reader. I was read too. When you're a little kid, the teacher would read us stories. But it all started in kindergarten. We would have stories read to us, or grade 1, around that time. And then it said, now class, you can make up a story. And of course, as a little kid, you never thought you could tell things that weren't true. And the teacher explained, this is like a fairy tale, you can make it up. And I went, oh, I could say it. And the light went on.
And you never stopped. And what was your first published work of fiction?
First public work of fiction, I was 15 years old, just started in high school. I was typing. I was the only boy in the typing class, so I would go after class and use the typewriters there. They let you. And I would type up short stories I'd written. And there was a magazine called The Writer that listed markets, and I would send them off, snail mail, and the rejections would come back. And one day, an envelope came back with a check in it. I was 15 and I couldn't believe it. I was so happy. It was a magazine in New Jersey, paid me, I think it was either $40 US back then, something like that.
Wow, well, that's really great. Do you have any other hobbies or interests besides writing?
I guess just being lazy. Oh no, I do enjoy older movies, old movies, that kind of thing. Stuff from the 40s, 50s, that stuff, noir.
Yeah.
And I try to read as much. I'm a slow reader, but I'm trying to read something all the time, something contemporary and classics. I go back and forth. Usually the classics at night so I can fall asleep. And they're beautiful. That's why they're classics. And then keeping up with what's happening now. So.
Okay. Which one of your books are you most proud of?
All of them.
all your children?
Yeah, all of them, even the award winners or those that maybe were neglected. I like them all. As you know, they're like family, so you like them all.
Okay. And which author influenced you the most?
Well, I was having this discussion with my wife at the outset. I think when I was a kid, it was Hemingway because he was accessible, and I just watched the PBS series. And so I'll say Hemingway because as a teenager, people were just use that name loosely. I didn't know, and I was not a good student in high school. But Hemingway was accessible because of the simple language of his style. But it led me to contemporaries. You should read James Joyce. You should read Faulkner. You should read Dostoevsky. So I think, in a way, it was a launch pad way back in the day. But I like everybody that I can get my hands on as a rule. The Tolstoy guy, it's not too bad either. I finally finished War and Peace, and I thought, yeah, okay, there's some good stuff in there. So yeah, Hemingway at the beginning, but everybody. Thomas Harris as well, because he's got a journalistic style from a journalistic background. You can see it in Silence of the Lambs. Many of the paragraphs are only 3 sentences long, but there's poetry in there. So.
Yeah. When this pandemic is over, where is the first place you hope to travel for a holiday?
Oh, see family, of course. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Toronto, just to see the kids, that kind of thing. Holiday, I'm not too worried about. I'll pick up conferences again,
Mm-hmm.
looking at the conference schedule down the road. So we'll see.
Yeah, those are fun. And what's something people might be surprised to learn about you?
We'll just keep that secret for now.
You're not going to tell us. No.
Well, I've been in 8 prisons.
Okay. So Rick, where can people go to find out more about you and more about your books?
Oh, rickmofina.com. Just
okay.
There you go. It's pretty much all there. There's a lot of stuff online as well. So yeah. I'm out there.
Google search and you.
Yeah. I'm out there.
Yeah. So I'll also put your website down below, and hope people will click on the likes and subscribe to Crime Writers of Canada, the YouTube site. And so it's been great speaking with you, and wish you all the best with another book chat.
Thank you very much, Brenda. It was lovely.
Okay. Talk to you again soon.